Today's episode is full of suspense, unexpected events, and a lot of excitement. It starts with someone at the airport in a hurry to catch their flight to London on Kingdom Airways. The head of the cabin crew, named Diva Khan, informs the passengers about the flight duration. The cabin crew assists passengers to their seats. A person named Sam is walking calmly with his suitcase when a woman asks him to hurry to catch the plane. She inquires about his suitcase, and he says it belongs to his wife. At this point, another person rushes to catch the plane but is stopped by the woman at the airport. He asks the person who just passed by to help him get on the plane, and she agrees. Meanwhile, there is a family at the airport causing chaos due to their children, and they have a large amount of luggage. Sam has jewelry with him, while the other person carries a bag and is on the phone. The chief flight attendant instructs the cabin crew to ensure all doors are closed, and the plane takes off. The flight attendant begins safety instructions for all passengers. Sam sends a message to someone, warning that it's too late. He checks his phone and sees a picture of a woman who received the message. A person next to him tries to engage him in conversation, but Sam avoids answering questions. A girl named Naomi enters the bathroom and finds a bullet on the floor, causing her concern. She sees a worried person named Marcus and tells him about the bullet. He takes it from her and goes to inform a flight attendant. Marcus requests to visit his cousin in the business class, despite the flight attendant's hesitation. We learn that Marcus is the leader of a gang. Marcus informs the gang that a member got shot in the bathroom and they need to start their operation now, not in 3 hours as planned. The gang's leader hands Marcus a green cap, signaling something specific among them. Sam watches them talking but can't hear because he's wearing headphones. Marcus wears the green cap, signifying that the mission will start in 5 minutes. He walks around so the gang members can see him, then goes to the girls and reassures them that the bullet was meant for a soldier. However, one of the girls remains skeptical and asks for a flight attendant's assistance. The gang leader opens the bag that belonged to the late passenger and takes out a small bag containing weapons, placing it in front of him. Sam becomes anxious due to the tension on the plane. He walks down the aisle and senses something strange. During this time, a flight attendant approaches the girl who was talking about the bullet. Suddenly, the gang members reveal their weapons, threatening the entire plane. They instruct all passengers to stay in their seats and not move. One girl among them speaks English, and another translates to Arabic. They collect phones and communication devices from the passengers. One of the flight attendants attempts to reach the pilot, but the gang leader threatens her and forces her to return. The pilot also tries to communicate with the flight attendants but fails. 2 passengers attempt to attack the gang members, thinking they are terrorists planning a suicide mission. However, Sam advises them to wait until they know the gang's nationality and intentions. The gang leader orders a woman named Colette to talk to the pilot and convince him to open the door, or she will be killed. The pilot communicates with the company about the situation. He agrees to open the door, but his assistant objects, leading to an altercation. The pilot's assistant tries to communicate, but the gang leader threatens her and hits her. He opens the door. The gang leader enters the cockpit and instructs the pilot to contact the company again, telling them that the passengers were just playing a prank. The pilot is afraid and listens to his instructions. Sam sends a message to the woman he saw earlier, who is revealed to be his ex-wife. He asks the gang leader to disconnect the Wi-Fi on the plane. Meanwhile, a woman named Neela, working at the airport, receives a call from someone named Sins, asking her to come quickly. She goes to the specified location but finds no one there. Neela informs Sam's ex-wife and her son Kai about the situation on the plane, seeking their advice. Sam approaches the gang leader and offers to help in exchange for ensuring his family's safety. The gang leader refuses and demands Sam's passport. Sam returns to his seat, and the gang leader takes a photo of Sam's passport. The 2 passengers planning to attack the gang prepare themselves. One of them accidentally fires a shot from the gun. The gang members regroup and gain control over them. The gang leader searches for the weapon but Sam takes it and hands it over to him. The 2 attackers are subdued and beaten before being isolated in a separate area. Mark, Sam's ex-wife's husband, tries to understand the situation on the plane by communicating with people he knows. He contacts a woman, gives her the flight number, and asks her to inform him of any updates. Sam returns to his seat and writes a note to the gang leader, indicating that the pilot is causing trouble. At the same time, a man named Abdullah at the Dubai airport feels that the pilot is lying due to the threat. He checks the camera footage to investigate. The gang leader approaches the pilot and asks him to explain aviation procedures. The pilot reveals that he doesn't make any changes on the plane except an hour before landing. The gang leader moves him to a different seat next to the passengers. The chief flight attendant asks a gang member to move to the back of the plane so she can tend to the captain's wounds, but he refuses. Abdullah, the man at the Dubai airport, watches the camera footage and wonders how Neela managed to leave her post so easily. Sam tries to send a message using the tablet in the cockpit, but when the gang leader approaches, he quickly locks it. The gang leader approaches the pilot and asks him to fasten his seatbelt. We then shift to Abdullah, who questions Natalia about why Neela left quickly. After a while, Neela calls and explains that she pretended to be sick to leave in a hurry. Abdullah finds it strange how Neela left so easily despite not showing any signs of illness and suspects something suspicious is happening. The plane is seen flying over Iraq, and Sam sends a message to the Iraqi military, warning them of danger and asking for communication. After 5 minutes, Iraqi security sends 5 messages to the plane, but there is no response because the pilot and co-pilot are outside the cockpit. Baghdad security requests communication with the pilot, but the gang leader refuses. Sam is frustrated with the situation and tells the gang that if they don't communicate with the pilot, the military will become suspicious and might send fighter jets to intercept them. However, the gang refuses to allow the pilot to communicate. Sam proposes that the gang leader take the pilot to communicate with the military, as this would help validate their identity. The gang leader is reluctant but agrees. Sam is afraid and pleads with the gang leader to take the pilot. Eventually, the gang leader orders the pilot to go and talk to them. The pilot goes with them and is questioned about his birth date and flight details to verify his identity. Afterward, a gang member goes with him, but while the pilot is standing, he unknowingly presses something in the cockpit. Nobody notices his action. Meanwhile, Alice drops off her son at school and is late for work. We learn that she works at the airport. She receives a message indicating that it's from the plane and asks her colleague what's happening. Her colleague informs her that Dubai contacted them, saying the report was false. Alice is sure something strange is occurring. The pilot contacts the military in Baghdad, explaining what happened. However, the military responds late, and the pilot's request to change direction is denied. The gang members notice that the plane is deviating from its path. This deviation was caused by the pilot when he was taken from the cockpit after contacting Baghdad security. The plane's deviation becomes a confirmation that the situation on board is not normal. Abdullah goes to Neela's house to check on her. When he arrives, he finds 2 suspicious-looking janitors there. He asks them about Neela and learns that she is upstairs. As he searches for her, he discovers her and her husband murdered in the bathroom. One of the janitors attacks Abdullah and kills him. Alice calls her colleague, Zara, and informs her about the situation. She instructs Zara to inform their manager so they can find a solution to the catastrophe. Zara visits the Counterterrorism Analysis Center but learns that the officer she's looking for is on vacation. She speaks with the responsible person about the situation and emphasizes the need for an urgent meeting. Meanwhile, on the plane, a man wants to speak but his wife prevents him. He asks a girl next to him about the couple who were killed. She tells him that the man wants to inform that the guns they have are fake, but his wife is stopping him out of fear for his safety. As the plane approaches the Turkish border, Alice informs them that they'll contact Turkish authorities again. She asks Alice how the man knew about the fake guns, and while he still wants to talk, his wife stops him. A gang member points a gun at them and asks about the situation. Sam explains that the man wants to send a message to his grandchildren before he dies. The man is allowed to leave, and as he walks away, he writes on a tissue that whoever is searching for the bullet on the ground should activate the reading light if it's empty, and he discreetly drops it. One of the female passengers finds the tissue and starts looking for the bullet on the ground. A gang member notices her and asks what she's doing. She explains that her glasses fell, and she was searching for them. When she returns to her seat, Sam says that just using the reading light isn't enough, as she might not have found the bullet in the first place. The plane reaches Turkey, and the Istanbul Security Center tries to establish communication but receives no response. The gang leader takes the pilot to the cockpit to reply to them. They inform the pilot that the plane has deviated from its path, pretending not to know, and thank them for recognizing the deviation, then correct the plane's course. The gang leader tells his men that if they are forced to kill someone, they must do it, or else they will lose the battle. We go to Zara, who is conducting a meeting to brief everyone on the situation. She contacts Alice and shows them the unusual course adjustment made by the plane, indicating that it might deviate again. One of the attendees requests contacting the foreign minister urgently. There's an elderly Gulf man on the plane with diabetes who is struggling. He asks his nephew, who is part of the gang, to get him insulin, but the nephew refuses and threatens to kill him if he leaves his seat. The pilot wants to send another message to the ground, but the gang leader intercepts him and hits him with the gun. Sam scolds them, calling their actions foolish. The gang leader goes to Sam, wanting to kill him, but he smiles and assures him that he won't hit him in the end. A member of the cabin crew approaches Sam and the man next to him, informing them that girls in the economy class found a bullet during takeoff, which is now with them. He advises them to sit down quickly. Yusuf, who had earlier told Sam that the guns were fake, draws the shape of the real and fake bullets. The girl next to them translates Yusuf's words. Back on the ground, the foreign minister is on her way to a meeting but encounters heavy traffic. She gets out of her car and starts walking. Zara has prepared a list of passengers' names from the plane. The gang leader turns on the Wi-Fi and tries to contact someone, sending a voice message indicating they've taken control of the plane. The cabin crew informs the gang leader that it's mealtime, but he declines, saying only water is allowed. Sam hands a note with the drawn bullet to the flight attendant, Arthur, who gives it to the girls to distribute with water, explaining that if the bullet is type B, they should activate the reading light, meaning it's fake. Zara has identified 5 passengers with no information about them, knowing they are the hijackers. The person who was supposed to get insulin for his uncle tries to do so, but the gang member hits him. His daughter, Lizzie, goes missing in the chaos on the plane. Sam confronts Marcus to find out if the guns are fake or not, with the help of another passenger. Marcus attacks them, but they manage to disarm him. Sam reveals they know the bullets are fake, just as the gang leader switches the real bullet in his gun for another one. What will happen next? Follow us to find out the rest of the story.